My name is Sophie, and if you had told me 5 years ago that my life would twist and turn like a stormy river, I would have laughed. I was just a simple girl from a small town full of big dreams about teaching kids and building a future. But dreams do not always walk a straight path. They take you through dark nights, warm hugs, and painful goodbyes. Now I sit here in my quiet living room with a cup of tea in my hands, and I want to tell you my full story. It is the story of how I became a sugar baby in the big city, how a kind sugar daddy changed my world, and how I learned that real love waits on the other side of heartbreak. This is not a fairy tale. It is my true life, with tears, smiles, and lessons I will carry forever. I moved to New York 2 years ago for my university studies. The city looked like a dream at first, full of tall buildings that touched the clouds and bright lights that never slept. Everything felt exciting. The streets were busy with people rushing to important jobs, and the air smelled of coffee and new chances. But soon everything became hard, like a heavy weight on my shoulders. My small room in an old building cost too much rent. Every single week I worried about money for food, books, and the train to class. I worked part-time in a cafe from morning till late, making coffee and cleaning tables, but it was never enough. Bills piled up like snow in winter. One cold evening, I sat on my bed and cried because I could not pay the rent on time. The landlord knocked on my door and said, "Pay by tomorrow or leave." I felt tired and alone most days. My body ached from long hours, and my heart missed my family back home. I called my mother every night and tried to sound strong, but inside I felt small and scared. Still, I knew I had to finish my degree to have a better life. I told myself, "Sophie, do not give up. You came here for a reason." One evening, my friend Sarah saw how sad I was. She worked at the same cafe and always had a smile for everyone. She put her hand on my shoulder and said, "Sophie, you look like you carry the whole world. Come with me to a nice bar tonight. You need to smile again and forget your troubles for a few hours." I did not want to go at first. My clothes were old and I felt too shy for a loud place. But Sarah hugged me and said, "Just one night. It will help." I agreed. The bar was warm and loud with soft music playing in the background. Lights danced on the walls and people laughed around us. We sat at a small table near the corner. Soon a man came over. His name was Robert. He was about 50 years old, tall with gray hair at the sides, and dressed in a clean suit that looked expensive but simple. He looked kind and calm, like someone who had seen life but still had a gentle heart. Sarah knew him a little from her other friends and introduced us. "This is Sophie," she said. "She is studying to be a teacher." Robert smiled and sat down. He asked me about my studies in a soft voice. I told him I wanted to become a teacher, even when life was difficult. His eyes lit up with real interest. "That is special," he said. "Most people give up when times are hard. You keep going. I like that very much." We talked for a long time that night. He listens like no one else. asking questions about my dreams and my struggles in the city. For the first time in months, I felt seen. After that night, Robert started to meet me every week in quiet places. We went for coffee in small cafes or walks in the park where trees whispered in the wind. He never made it loud or showy. No big parties or fancy restaurants that would make people talk. He paid for my rent one month when I cried about the bills over the phone. "You are strong, Sophie," he told me with a warm smile. "I want to help you keep studying. Let me be there for you." I felt safe with him for the first time since I came to New York. He treated me with soft words and small gifts like fresh flowers or a warm coat for the cold days. I began to care for him too. He was single and ran his own successful business selling office supplies to big companies. He had no wife or children, and he told me one day, "I felt lonely for years before I met you, Sophie. Your smile brings light back into my days." Our talks became deeper and more honest. One evening, after a long day at university where I almost failed a test, I told him, "Robert, you make me feel loved when the world feels cold and empty." He held my hand gently and said, "You make me feel young again, Sophie. I have never met someone with your kind heart and strong spirit." Time passed slowly, and our time together grew closer and more private. We shared secrets and dreams under the city lights. I started to call him my sugar daddy in my thoughts because he helped me like no one else, and I became his sugar baby without planning it. It felt natural and warm. One rainy night, after we had dinner at his quiet apartment with soft music and candlelight, emotions filled the room like a wave. We talked about fear and hope for hours. I said with tears in my eyes, "I am scared of failing my studies and going back home with nothing. But with you, I feel strong enough to keep fighting." He looked at me with tears in his own eyes and whispered, "I cannot imagine my days without you now, Sophie. You have become my everything." That night, we spent together for the first time. It was full of love and warmth, gentle touches and quiet promises. My heart raced, but I felt safe in his arms. From then on, Robert could not stay away from my touch and my smile. He told me the next morning over breakfast, "I am ready to do anything for your future, Sophie. You deserve the world, and I want to give it to you." Robert kept his promise in every way. He paid for my university fees so I could study without worry and focus only on books and classes. Then he surprised me with something big that changed my life. He bought a beautiful salon that was already doing well in a good part of the city. The place had shiny mirrors, comfortable chairs, and a sweet smell of shampoo. He hired 3 good workers who knew their jobs well and put all the papers in my name. "Now you are the owner, Sophie," he said with a proud smile as he handed me the keys. "You can run it while you finish your studies. This is your own business, your sugar baby gift from your sugar daddy." I cried happy tears right there in the salon. "Why do you do all this for me, Robert?" I asked, my voice shaking. He answered softly, pulling me close. "Because I love the woman you are becoming. Your dreams are now mine, too. I see how hard you work, and I want you to have something that is truly yours." I worked at the salon on weekends, learning to manage the business and help customers feel beautiful. Life became easier. My rent was paid, my studies went well, and our love grew stronger every week. We shared more nights together, talking about the future and holding each other tight. 2 years later, I finished my degree with top marks. I stood on the stage in my cap and gown, smiling so wide my cheeks hurt. I was so happy I could finally call myself a teacher. But then my phone rang that same evening. It was my mother from our small hometown. Her voice was firm and tired. "Sophie, come home now," she said. "Your father is sick, and the family needs you here. We have found a good man for you to marry. It is time to settle down and leave that big city life behind." I tried to explain my life in New York, the salon, my degree, everything, but they did not listen. They said the city had changed me too much and that I needed to come back for the family. I felt torn inside, like my heart was pulling in two directions. When I told Robert the next day in his apartment, his face became sad and pale. He held me close for a long time and said, "I love you, Sophie, but I cannot marry you. My life is here with my business and my world. I will never stop you from choosing your path. You can keep our special bond as my sugar baby if you want, or start a new life with someone who can give you a full marriage and family. The choice is yours, my dear. I only want you to be happy, even if it breaks my heart." His words broke my heart into pieces. I packed my bags and went home as my family asked. They pushed the marriage hard, showing me photos of the man they chose and planning everything without asking me. I felt trapped and confused every day. The memories of Robert and our sweet nights together made me cry alone at night in my old room. I could not eat or sleep for weeks. My mind felt dark and heavy, like a storm that would not end. Why did he help me so much but not choose me forever? I asked myself again and again while staring at the ceiling. Was I just his sugar baby after all? I became very quiet and sad. My family saw the pain in my eyes and worried. My sister took me to a doctor for therapy sessions. In those quiet rooms with soft chairs, I talked about everything. The struggles in New York, the love with Robert, the goodbye that hurt like fire. At first, I cried through every word, but slowly it helped. My mother hugged me one evening after a long talk and said, "We did not know your pain, Sophie. We only wanted safety for you, but we love you no matter what happened in the city. You are still our girl." With their warm words and the therapy sessions every week, the heavy weight lifted bit by bit. I started to smile again and walk in the park like before, feeling the sun on my face. One day, my family introduced me to Michael. He was 5 years older than me and owned a small construction company that built homes for families. He had kind eyes, a gentle voice, and hands that looked strong from hard work. We met for coffee many times in the local cafe. At first, I was nervous, but he listened quietly when I shared my full story, even the parts about Robert, the salon, and being a sugar baby. I waited for him to walk away or judge me, but he did not. Instead, he took my hand across the table and said, "Sophie, your past made you the strong woman I see today. I accept every part of you, the struggles, the love you found, the pain you felt. Your heart is beautiful, and I will protect your peace. I want to build a life with you where you feel safe and loved every day. No secrets between us." His words felt like fresh air after a long rain. We talked for hours about dreams, fears, and our future. He never judged me once. He even said with a smile, "If you want to keep the salon in New York, I will help you run it from here, or sell it if you like. Your happiness comes first." After 6 months of long talks, walks, and shared meals, I said yes to Michael. Our wedding was small and full of family smiles under the trees in our hometown. Now, 2 years later, he is my husband and my best friend. He supports me when old memories come back on rainy nights. He holds me close and says, "You are my everything, Sophie. Your dignity is safe with me forever. I love the woman you are, past and all." We work together on our dreams. I teach at a local school, helping kids learn with all my heart, and I still own the salon through video calls and weekend trips. Life is not perfect, but it is full of real love and quiet strength. Looking back at my journey now, I feel a deep peace in my chest. From the lonely nights in New York to the warm arms of my sugar daddy Robert, through the heartbreak that nearly broke me to the healing hands of therapy and family, and finally to the steady love of Michael, every step taught me something important. Love can come in different ways. Sometimes it lifts you up when you need it most, like a sugar daddy helping his sugar baby chase dreams. Sometimes it lets you go so you can find your own path. And sometimes it stays forever, accepting every scar and every smile. I am Sophie, no longer lost or broken. I am a teacher, a business owner, a wife, and a woman who knows her worth. If you are reading this and feeling stuck in your own storm, remember my story. The sun always rises after the darkest night. Thank you for listening to my heart. This is where my story ends, but my life keeps blooming, one gentle day at a time. Thanks for listening to my story. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and tell me where you're listening from.